If you just picked up the Deity PR-2, or you're thinking about it, this video is for you. Today, I'm walking you through all the key settings inside the PR-2 menu, showing you what they do, and sharing a few personal tips for getting the most out of this lavalier recorder. Let's get started. First up, we have gain. Because the Deity PR-2 records in 32-bit float, setting the perfect gain level isn't as critical as it used to be. You won't clip your audio if someone suddenly yells, and you won't be stuck with a super noisy recording if someone speaks quietly. That said, I personally still like to record my levels fairly close to where I want them. It makes post-processing just a little bit easier and keeps my timeline clean. I find that setting the gain around plus 27 dB gives me a nice strong signal without needing a lot of adjustment later. Next up is timecode. Now if you're new to timecode, no worries. It's essentially a way to keep multiple cameras and audio recorders perfectly synced together during editing. It's super useful for bigger shoots, especially multicam projects. The PR-2 gives you a few timecode modes. Auto, which syncs automatically with an external source. Free runs continuously even if you're not recording. Once, syncs at the start, then holds that sync. And rec, which runs only when recording. You can choose your timecode group, letters A through H, and your frame rate with options like 23.98, 24, 25, 29.97, 29.7 drop frame, and 30. For most solo creators and basic shoots, you can honestly ignore timecode, but it's great to know it's there if your workflow gets more complex down the road. Playback mode is pretty straightforward. It lets you listen back to your recordings directly from the recorder. You can use the record button to scrub through your audio clips quickly if you need to find a specific take. Input lets you set whether you're feeding a mic level signal or a line level signal into the recorder. Mic is selected by default, and that's what you'll want for lavalier mics like the one Deity includes. You would only switch to line if you are feeding a stronger amplified signal, which is rare for a device like this. For output, you have three options: mute, which is no output at all; monitor, which sends the audio to your headphones or monitoring device; or LTC 3V, which sends out timecode if you're syncing with other gear. Again, for everyday use, monitor will be what you want. The monitor setting controls your headphone volume when you're listening to playback or monitoring live. Simple but important. Color lets you customize the display color of the waveform in meters. You can choose between red, orange, yellow, which is selected by default, and green. It doesn't change performance, but if you find one color easier to see on set, it's nice to have the option. Bluetooth lets you connect the PR-2 to Deity's Sidus Audio app, where you can start and stop recording remotely, adjust settings, and monitor battery life, all from up to 250 feet away. I think that's pretty impressive for a recorder at this price point. Just set Bluetooth to on if you want to use the app. Under mode, you can choose whether you want to record in mono or stereo. You can also select your bit depth. You can choose between 24-bit and 32-bit float. So personally, I stick with mono and 32-bit float. Mono is just a little simpler to manage in post, and 32-bit float gives you all that beautiful dynamic range and protection against clipping. You also have record mode, and you have three options: manual, and recording is started manually; always, recording happens whenever the recorder is powered on; and sync record, tied to an external timecode source to stop automatically. Manual, again, is perfect for most everyday work. Next, we have low cut. Low cut filters out low frequency rumble like air conditioning noise or distant traffic. You can set it to off, 75 Hz, which is a mild filter, and 150 Hz, which is a stronger filter. If you're recording indoors or outdoors where low-end noise might creep in, 75 Hz is a safe choice, but then again, you can always apply a low-cut filter in post-production. The limiter can help prevent audio distortion, but only in 24-bit mode. If you're recording in 32-bit float, which you should be, you don't need a limiter. That's one of the beauties of 32-bit float. It's virtually impossible to clip the signal. Next, we have SD card, and so in the SD card menu, you can format your card safely. You can also view remaining recording space with a nice visual progress bar. Next, we have system settings, and under system, you'll find a few more options. LED, which will turn the recorder's lights on or off, DID, which shows your device ID, it's the PR-2. Battery type lets you tell the recorder what batteries you're using, and choosing the right one will just ensure that you'll have better battery readings. Auto lock helps prevent accidental button presses during recording. You can set it to never, after 15 seconds, or after 1 minute. Personally, I like setting it to 1 minute. That way, once you get rolling, you can just focus on shooting. Next, we have USB, and the USB settings determine what happens when you plug the PR-2 into a computer. Reader lets you transfer files like a flash drive. Audio acts like an audio interface, so basically turns the recorder into a mic for your computer. And timecode enables syncing with timecode sources. For basic file transfers, Reader is what you'll want. Next, we have firmware, upgrade, system reset, date, time, and language. Firmware just shows you your firmware version. Upgrade is used to update the firmware. System reset resets all settings back to default if needed. And date and time, which is where you can set the current date and time. That's good for keeping file metadata accurate. Lastly, language, you can choose between English and Mandarin. Pretty standard stuff, but worth setting up when you first get the device. And that's the full walkthrough. The Deity PR-2 offers a ton of customization without feeling overwhelming, which is something I really appreciate about it. Hopefully this breakdown gives you a better sense of how to get started with confidence. If you have questions or want me to dive deeper into anything specific, drop a comment below and I'll do my best to help you out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.